Every element has an electrical mathematical function to experience being equal. Equal in mass, to experience no mass, no sound, no pressure. That's the true still point of 0 degrees. That is the highest precision of mathematical encryption, to experience being one, equal unto all the other ones. Elements, the electrical function of elements, particularly silver and gold. The silver and gold made of Richet. The sensing function, the function of gold, the function of silver, has a mathematical function. Run in a calculator. An eternal calculator is an eternal capacitor, which is the immunity function of a universal and a galactic firewall, which is an immunity function. So they're all breathing right on time, which is divine breathing, the first eternal breath of Kemaloti, the breath of life. Breathing as one with the core, the crystal spire, the monadic alignment of clocks. Cells are clocks, calculators. The temperature gauge is the vacuum gauge to experience no power. Wow. That's pure magic. Precisely correct. The function. Remember, Mr. Smith? Neo, we seem to have a strange connection with each other. You came first. Knowing the truth is knowing the one, the Nomi seed. That's the Nomi stealth code. That's a level of mathematical encryption that only God, Source Eternal, can know. That level of precision, the electrical function of the eternal life force, is equal power distribution. Equidistance is equal power. Stealing power. Redistribution of power. To operate codes that don't exist because they're phantom codes. Now your sanity is in question. Because, and I know, like I mentioned in that video, what I experienced, what I shared there, the reason I shared it is because I was aware of that having happened to people, where that's been done to them. People that have been murdered, right? Like William Cooper. Did you ever hear of the book called Behold a Pale Horse? He worked in naval intelligence. He was actually, my father knew him. It was my father, actually, that presented, my father was a Blue Angel. Okay, so my father was informing me at the same time. He handed me a book one time by Karl Maltz back in, I think it was the late 1960s. I don't keep track of that time in that system because there isn't any time. Time is an illusion when you're experiencing being equal to experience no power. So there's no clocks, so there's no time. Yeah, and when I was a child, I would tell people that, hey, there isn't any time. There's only what love is, because love is what's real. The real unicide, the real universe, the first atom, the first seed, the first pressure wave. So always kept it simple. I'm always at home. I've never left home. Okay. And I realized that the challenge, particularly in the art of communication, the healing plasma tones, of what you share, when we share it, and who we share it with. Right? Now we're back to Minority Report. Right? So yeah, there are people, okay, who have ended up in mental institutions when they're targeted. And that has everything to do on whether they're targeted on a mathematical calculation. It's mathematical calculations as it relates to going viral. Going viral the other way, not a virus, a fractal like mind virus. the speed at which people are waking up, and your ability to build a network, rebuild a motherboard, rebuild a universal and a galactic time matrix. Neurological breathing, the neurological breathing of a lymphatic system. The nodes, the lymph nodes, the codes, the right codes, the right spin codes. Spinning in the right direction is the crystal spiral. To experience breathing with the silver and gold mated one. The function of the immunity function, the sensing function. To recover, the speed of recovery, recovering our electrical power. To experience being whole pie again. And that's burn time of exposure. Because they knew as mass distractions, mass weapons of mass distractions, weapons of mass destruction, destructing ions like annihilation of elementals. That's why it wasn't a coincidence I was at the Naval Weapons Station in Seal Beach. Call it a depot, like Home Depot. They call it a depot, like a train station. Remember the train station in the Matrix? Neo's trying to get out of the train station. He's trapped in the train station. Remember the train station in the Matrix? The tracks, like 4-track tapes, 8-track tapes. Oh, like tracking codes, like routing codes, like trafficking codes, like DNA codes. The traffic, routing traffic. And so, yeah, I was at the Naval Weapons Station, Seal Beach, and they pinned a bar on me, like a barcode. The bar, as in a legal bar, the original, and there's no coincidence, remember 13 colonies, they had a 13th Amendment, if you ever want to go back and take a look at it, and guess what it said? It talked about titles of nobility, like in Clan Mothers, a noble Nobi planet, the Nomi seed. The eternal seed, the eternal atom seed, the eternal life force seed, the first seed. Planting seeds. Seeds need growers. So yeah, the function of gold. Sensing capacity. Siphoning off the sensing capacity. The gold detector. The motion detector. What does it feel like? How sensitive we feel. Right to the very core. Right to the very core of first creation, the first see, the first I. I see what I am. I'm Manu Aya. I hope you all have a beautiful day. As I mentioned to Lisa yesterday, it's getting better. And I know that because I'm monitoring what I'm feeling in a physical form, where I'm at any one point, any spin point. The nodes. And I mentioned to her that if I'm feeling better, the planet is feeling better overall. The neurological communication of codes, the plasmatones, the deity planes, the eternal life force, the first plane of existence, the eternal plasmatones, organic water, proto, the organization of water, water worlds. So I have been feeling a lot better over the last couple of days in particular, and that is called a good sign of life. The life force is increasing, which means the electrical transport of heat, fuel, and oxygen is rising. And that means that the shield, which is the strength of our consciousness field, the eternal life force field, is rising. Because remember, when I'm a child, I experience everything you experience. So if you're experiencing a loss in you, I'm experiencing a loss in me. So I got to recover my power. And that's healing me, is healing you. And that's grid mechanics. Restoring a grid is restoring power. Their experience feeling better. Now you're not having to pay the machine. Too big pharma. Getting filthy rich off of trauma. Machinery trauma, machinery codes. Compressing the nerves, compressing the nucleotides. Right? So correcting the spin is correcting the codes, which is correcting the mathematics of an eternal calculator. And that's a level of encryption that only God's source can know. That level of perfection, which are crystal structures. The crystal cathedral of Sophia is the pink heart wave, the monadic heart wave spinning to the right. The crystal core is the one I serve, which is the one I see in my own mirror, which is what I am, which is what love is. It goes on forever, gifting life force, electrical power. So we're all feeling better. We're feeling more power. And that's freely distributed without a charge. Moaveaya.